Hey guys, happy Saturday to everybody. I am going to grab Monroe, and she's in her pod right now, swaddled, like a little swaddled, happy little baby, like a little cocoon. Make sure she's in the frame. She is. I'm going to change her into an outfit for today, and I'm going to do a topic video about elitism. And these are videos that have been going around quite a bit amongst the community, both, in a positive spin and then some in a negative spin, and people accusing people of being elitists and such. And well, since I've been one of the accused, I figured I might as well share my 2 cents, because it's not the first time I've been called an elitist or whatever based on the dolls I collect. So I wanted to share my story a little bit so people understand how I've gotten to be where I am in my collecting, because I think part of this conversation going around amongst varying collectors, and where it stemmed from, is from newer doll collectors that haven't been in the community for as long as others. And I think that there's a misunderstanding of not really people don't understand where some of us are coming from that have been accused of being elitists, and why we choose to want certain things for our dolls, or why we choose to buy certain brands for our dolls, why we buy certain dolls to begin with, why we like certain artists. And so I'm going to share my thoughts and opinions on this, because on and off over the years, it's always been newer collectors that have accused me of being an elitist. And it's because collectors come into the hobby new, learning, watching YouTube channels, getting a feel for people, and they stumble across some of our channels, such as mine, where they feel like we're only promoting high-end dolls, we're only promoting high-end clothing, we're only looking at the high-end of everything. And that might be true. In fact, for me, most of the time, it is very true. But it's not a bad thing. And I want to explain why it's not a bad thing. You have to walk in someone else's shoes to really understand before you kind of throw stones at people, I think. I think that there are a lot of judgmental people in the community, and outside of the community as well. But the outside of the community is more understandable, because they don't get us, they don't understand collecting whatsoever. But it's more baffling to me when it's within the community that people have such a negative attitude towards us collectors that choose to buy high-end dolls, choose to buy high-end clothing, which I don't always buy high-end clothing. I buy clothing from wherever I like, depending on what's cute. And that could be from a brand that's inexpensive, or it can be from a brand that's super expensive. But I don't buy the highest of high-end. There are definite brands I won't buy from, because it's just too much for me to spend, no matter how much I might like their clothes. So I have limits. I really like the Jacquetie brand. You all know that. And that's where some of these conversations and topics and people making videos about it has started, about being a bit snobbish by only buying high-end clothing, and why do you have to buy high-end clothing? Like, having an opinion about why people buy whatever is just silly to me. I don't care what people buy for their dolls. It's their dolls. It's your prerogative to buy whatever you want. I'm not going to pass judgment. But I want to share the fact that some of you, those of you that have followed me for a long time, you guys already know how I got to where I've gotten. You all know that I've been collecting dolls for 20 plus years. I've been in this hobby since the very, very beginning. And have started from the $100, reborn, and I air quote reborn, because it really was like not reborn at all, really, and worked my way up over many years of collecting through reborns, and then, one-of-a-kind clay dolls, as well as reborns, kind of around the same time frame, and worked my way up. And then silicone wasn't even a thing when I first started collecting. That was years off. So I had been collecting years before, silicones hit, the market and came into our, doll world, and artists were, testing the waters. And early on, I discovered Claire Taylor right early when she was making some of her first silicone dolls, and started buying immediately because I just noticed that her quality, after buying other artists that were dabbling in silicone, that her quality seemed to be above the rest. And then Romy Stridham kind of came into the picture as well, where I thought that her dolls were also made very well. And I still collected reborns throughout that time frame. It took me it's not until recently that I really stopped collecting. I didn't really stop collecting reborns, but until I fall in love with one, I won't buy one just to have one. And the prices for reborns is just outrageous for really well done ones. So I tend to just hold off and enjoy what I have, which is this baby. But it's taken me so long to get to a point where I could even afford a high-end reborn, let alone a high-end silicone. And silicones didn't start off being this pricey. You know, I used to think that spending a couple $100s on a doll was just crazy. Like, the first one I bought was $100, and I thought that was nuts, but I was so intrigued. And somehow, as you kind of step up in the price range, I used to tell myself I'd never spend such and such amount for a doll. Because I would see other collectors that would spend loads and loads more than I would ever on a doll. And I'm like, nope, I'll never be that collector. So I had that mental mindset that, oh, I won't buy all of this crazy stuff for my dolls. But that changes. We become conditioned to what is like normal pricing for a collectible doll. We have totally been conditioned. And it took me years to get to that point. You know, first it was spending more than $300 on a reborn, and then it became spending more than $1,000 on a reborn. And as the prices jumped and as the artists became more gifted, I want to say, and more talented, the prices just kept going up and up and up. Okay, so it's not as if like it happened overnight for me. I never used to buy high-end doll clothes either. I would buy, I would go to my local stores here. I didn't even buy online at the time because it really wasn't a big thing. And it just all gradually happened. So over the many years, and then getting into silicones started off, I want to say like around $1,600 for a partial silicone directly from the artist. I think it was like $1,600 or $1,800, something like that was like one of the partials that I got from Claire, one of the early ones. And I was instantly hooked. Like, I loved how she painted her dolls. I've always loved the feel of her silicone. It's always been a thing for me. I just feel like it's always been a bit superior in my mind for, in comparison from other silicone dolls I had. And I've just kind of grown with Claire. It's not like as if one day I decided to buy a Claire Taylor doll because I wanted to attract people to my channel. That's crazy. And that's been stated, that people buy certain dolls so that they can gain viewers and gain subscribers on their channel. That is absolutely one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I'll be honest. I think that it's ridiculous that somebody's brain would jump to that. If you are starting a channel and you're buying a doll for the channel, you're crazy. Don't do it. It's nonsense. Don't bother doing it. You shouldn't even be in this hobby if that's what you're all about, is just gaining subscribers and you're not in it for the love of the dolls, because that's what it has always been about for me. I have grown my taste and I have refined my taste over the years because I've learned what I like. I've learned what looks realistic to me in person versus something that's just in pictures. And I want to say, once you find those things and you've had a taste of it, it's very hard to go back to the more basic and maybe less detailed dolls. Because I have always set out to find the most realistic dolls. That has always been my goal of this hobby from the time I started. It's like, I want realism. I don't just want realism in pictures when I share my dolls. I want realism in purpose for me. Because I'm the only one that's going to see this doll, more than likely, up close, in person, and I want this doll to be realistic in my eyes. I want them to try to fool me. I want there to feel like it's like having a newborn in the house. That's my goal, and it's my prerogative to feel that way. Like, people have different purposes for collecting, but we shouldn't be judging everybody for if their purpose of collecting is different than mine. Like, that's just being judgmental, and once again, it's not necessary. I think we have too many people policing what people think they should be doing in doll collecting, and a lot of these people that are judging haven't even been in this community for very long at all. So it's surprising to me that people come into this hobby and then start judging people, start policing collectors like as if they know what's best. Everybody has the right to collect however their heart desires. That's the bottom line. I don't think that anybody has the right to judge another collector. I think that we'd all be a lot happier if we just stayed out of everybody else's business. And, you know, maybe we'd be a peaceful community. I see these channels that are putting up, you know, video upon video upon video about wanting to become, you know, a more happy community. But that starts with ourselves. Like, we all have to kind of own some of our shit. Let's put it that way. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. We have to own our shit. So if you are like saying one thing on your channel and doing another, and then trying to police other people and say like people are being judgmental and people are being mean and they're being cliquey and they're being this, it's like you're also judging. Everybody is naturally judgmental in some way, shape, or form. It's whether you act on it and whether you put it out there for the whole world to see, like in a video format. You know, we can use our platforms for whatever we want. It's your channel, you do what you want with it. But don't cry wolf, like we want a happy community, but then turn around and make videos that are pointing fingers at other collectors. I just don't see that as being a healthy way to collect, and it's really just not necessary. We're not here to poke fun, to put down other collectors. I'm not here for that. I'm here to truly enjoy my doll and hopefully bring you guys along on the ride for that. That's all I'm here for. It's what I've always been in social media for. That's always been the case, even when there was no YouTube. I posted pictures on DollFan and shared my dolls with my fellow doll collectors and / friends. People just get, I don't know, I think because the community has grown so much, people just think they need to be in everybody else's business, and some people just cannot let things go. Like, it's just, I don't know, I think it's just a waste of time and effort for people to put so much anger and hate towards other people in this community. You know, it's just time to move on, guys. But the elitism thing, you know, you can like who you like. We're all here to enjoy dolls, hopefully. If you're not here for that, then why bother? Don't bother me, because I don't want to deal with people that aren't here for the love of the dolls. That's pointless in my eyes. And I just think that those people that are being super judgmental and pointing fingers and saying how we're being mean and we're being cliquey, and I don't understand why people want to be in secluded groups. It's because we want to share our love of the similar things with other people that enjoy the same thing as we do. It's a very natural thing. That's why there are so many closed Facebook groups. I'm part of so many Facebook groups. I don't post in probably only 1 or 2 now, because I have the Claire Taylor group, because that's where I post pictures of Monroe. That's where a lot of my friends are, but it's also where other collectors are that really enjoy Claire Taylor's work, and they get why I love Claire Taylor. So it's fun to just share that love and passion with other collectors that get me, versus putting it out there in all over Facebook and other groups where people are judgmental because I have a high-end silicone doll, because that's what it's turned into, because there's so many haters. There's so many people that just think it's just not okay to have a high-end doll. And I didn't start off with a high-end doll. I've been here for more than 20 years, guys. Give me a break. I can like what I like. I can refine my taste and enjoy the dolls that I enjoy. That is my prerogative. That's the fun of a free country, free world, guys. It's we're able to have what we like. And it always baffles me to think that as if someone else can tell me what I should and shouldn't have, or what I should and shouldn't enjoy. It's crazy to me. Crazy, crazy. So am I an elitist? Probably. Do I consider myself an elitist? sure, whatever. If you want to label it, you can label it whatever. I just see it as I have become a very refined, particular collector. I know what I want. I know what will make me happy. And if I'm not happy, what's the point of having a doll? I have to be in love with the doll to spend any amount of money, whether it's a little or a lot. And whether or not other people like the doll, it kind of doesn't matter to me. I don't buy dolls for other people's enjoyment. If people are out there doing that, then that is very sad because they're here for our own enjoyment, our personal enjoyment. So I still enjoy this doll almost way more than when I'm sharing her just on a YouTube video. I spend a lot of time with her. She brings me a lot of joy in my life that you guys don't even see, that I don't share. There's a lot of times I'm not in the mood to make a video, but I still spend a lot of time with her. Like, she makes me happy. And so therefore, I'm going to continue to collect what I like. And if that makes me an elitist, then you guys can label me an elitist. But it doesn't mean that I look down on others who are just getting new and just into the community, into doll collecting, starting off, learning what they like. I think it's great. I enjoy many channels still that only collect reborns. And it doesn't have to be a high-end reborn. I can appreciate any quality of doll as long as the collector loves it. I will love it too. I enjoy seeing happy collectors. That's why I tune into certain channels, because I see their love for their dolls. So it doesn't matter whether or not you're a silicone collector. I'm happy to watch, other people's channels that are or aren't silicone doll collectors, because I got both on my subscribed list. I'm open to enjoying anybody's channel, but I just don't have time to watch everybody's channel. That's the problem. I just have a lack of time, and it's not because I'm trying to be stuck up or cliquey or not be friendly. Like, I'm friendly with anybody that comes across and messages me. I'm very friendly, and I try to respond in comments. If someone has a particular question, I will try to answer. I do my best to respond, but I'm always trying to be kind to everybody. It doesn't matter what kind of collector you are. I'm kind to you. I don't pass judgment. I don't look down on people. I think we're all here for the same reasons. And, over time, those out there that are pointing fingers saying that we're elitist, you never know. You might find yourself later on, after you've collected for a while, you might find yourself to be an elitist as well, because you've refined your taste. Not only in doll clothes, but in dolls in general. You learn what you like. You start buying higher end. You see something that really speaks to you, and it's a high-end prototype artist doll. You just never know. And the things we think now might not be what we think, 2 years from now, 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. You don't know how you're going to feel, because it's literally something that changes. Your feelings change and grow in this community. This hobby, there's a lot of differing opinions, but it also has to do with where people are at in their collecting. I think that I've been through it all. I've had this huge number of dolls in my collection, including both reborns, one-of-a-kinds, and silicones. I've had them all at one point in time and had a large number of dolls, and I've kind of just whittled it down, and you guys know that I've just been really happy with Monroe. It took me a really long time to get there. But I've been through every stage of it, where when I first came into collecting, I kept buying and buying and buying and buying and had such a turnover of dolls. And then I went through a period of time where I'm like, I don't want to give up any. And I had 15 to 20 dolls in my collection at the time. I've been through all of those stages. I've felt all of those feelings and changed how I feel about, what does my collection look like? What do I want it to be? Where do I want to be if I'm going to be happy in this hobby? So it's ever changing. So I look back on videos I've made, 6-7 years ago, and I don't feel the same way as I did when I made that video, because I'm in a different place now. And so it's really, I think we should be a little bit more aware that we may not feel the same way down the road. So maybe we'd be a little bit less judgmental. That would be nice. So that's my feelings on elitism, guys. And here's Monroe, and the coloring and lighting in here is awful, because I don't know why. But she has this really cute sweater on from Jules. Told you I had a Jules order that I placed. She's got some sleepers. The sleeper I took off of her was also from Jules. And she's got a jackety onesie with a little pretty scalloped collar. So it has little chickens or hens. I'm not sure which they are, to be honest. And then she's got her little Old Navy jeggings and some white socks with pom-poms and some pink Cry Company shoes. This is a mixed bag of, you know, an outfit from multiple different places, both high-end down to very affordable. So I like to mix it up. I don't always like to put her in like high-end expensive outfits. I do love them, but I'm also loving the little cardigan look and sweaters for her. And I forgot to mention, it's like literally 29 degrees outside. We've hit winter here, so I want her in something cozy and warm, and this fits the bill, and I love these colors on her. So hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing me change her. I hope you enjoyed some of my take on elitism. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Yeah, this is how I feel about it, and some of you may understand where I'm coming from, and some of you may think I'm crazy, but you know, that's my thoughts. I'm being honest as I can be, but I also think that, you know, finger pointing in our hobby, I think, is just unnecessary, and telling a collector how they should feel and collect and buy for their dolls or buy the dolls themselves just seems very uncalled for, and well, it just seems a little nuts to me that we should tell anybody what to buy. You buy what you love, enjoy it. That's the whole fun of the hobby. If you take all that out and you start telling people what they should do, like, where's the fun in this hobby when you feel like you're obligated to have to buy to please someone else other than yourself? Like, no thank you. I'm just going to continue doing what I do, enjoying the dolls I enjoy, and that's what keeps me in this hobby for as long as I have been, I think, because I've just always bought what I love, and that's stood the test of time so far, so must be doing something right. But there's Monroe for the day. She's got a little bow in her hair as well, just a light pink bow to kind of accent the light pink here. But there she is, guys. I hope you think she looked cute. We're all ready for the day, and we're going to have some cuddle time, and I'm going to try to watch a couple of videos because I have not been online watching videos much at all this week. So I hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend, and Monroe and I will see you all soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.